You're listening to the scientific radio of the unknown. One of the most interesting podcasts on the internet.
Your lives may be in danger.
Why?
You've seen things that weren't to be seen. Care and discretion are now imperative.
I saw something.
As I said, I can provide you with information, but only so long as it's in my best interest to do so.
What is your interest?
The truth.
I did see something. But it's gone. They took it from me. They erased it. You have to tell me what it was.
A military UFO? Mr. Mulder, why are those like yourself who believe in the existence of extraterrestrial life on this earth not dissuaded by all the evidence to the contrary?
Because all the evidence to the contrary is not entirely dissuasive.
Precisely.
They're here, aren't they?
Mr. Mulder, they've been here for a long, long time.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. Wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
I be doing scientific research. 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 I be doing scientific research of the unknown. Now we scientific leaders. In the lab I got the swagger off the meter. Got a ghost detected on the EMF reader. We find the evidence everywhere that we search. Heavily invested in the scientific year. I think I got the scientific research fever. And if you do not, then we gon' make you a believer. Let's go. We hunting ghosts like we in the lab like science, 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 science. I be doing scientific research. 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 Scientific research.
For over 1,000 generations, Sacramento, California has been home to more sightings of mysterious phenomena than anywhere else in the world. Now, a hardcore team of elite paranormal investigators is out to solve these mysteries using advanced scientific research methods. Nothing will stand in their way to find the truth. They are the scientific researchers of the unknown. coming to you live from Sacramento, California. He's the founder and president of the Scientific Researchers of the Unknown. He's your host, Carson French.
Hello, welcome everybody to episode 3 of the Scientific Radio of the Unknown podcast. We're a show we talk about, we're some scientists who talk about the research that we do on aliens and paranormal, like ghost hunting stuff, stuff like that. Today I'm joined by my very special guest, who's also in the field. His name is Aditya Mishra. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Aditya.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aditya Mishra, and I studied with Carson French. We both studied paranormal activity. I don't really know what else there is to say about that. We've been friends for a very long time. We've encountered some very mysterious entities controlling our lives, and we both believe the government is trying to hide the true meaning of life from all of us.
Yeah, and the big question is not whether they're doing it or not, because we know they're obviously doing it. It's why they're doing it. And that's why we're here. That's why we have to do our evidence to see what they're hiding.
I think recently Carson and some members of our team went to an abandoned military base. Do you think you could tell the listeners more about that? To tell us, because I heard a lot of evidence from that one particular investigation that supported the idea that the government was actually hiding classified intel from United States citizens.
Yeah, it's a project we're working on right now. One of our investigations. We found a abandoned military base, which we're not going to disclose the location yet because we don't want anybody to go in there and tamper with the evidence because we're not done yet. We're going to go back, but we're in the process of documenting the findings there. And something we found that we thought was pretty interesting was there are some documents we found that talk about some sort of like creatures that are being grown there, that they're gonna have a new generation of these creatures that are growing in like the swamps. And we'll go more onto this later. I don't want to give away too much now, but we also had an encounter with one of these creatures, or some sort of creature inside one of the rooms that was hiding in a hole that was in the floor. And that is why we had to leave, and we're going to go back later and finish the investigation. But this is just the tip of the iceberg right now. We're going to be talking a lot more about this in the future of SRO2, our Scientific Researchers of the Unknown / Scientific Radio of the Unknown. Some other places that we've been investigating are Manzanita Cemetery and Wood Creek High School. We're going to be seeing that episode coming out soon, possibly even before this podcast is released. And then
I think it's pretty important for the listeners to know more about the lore behind Manzanita Cemetery and why it's so special.
okay, yeah, the thing about Manzanita Cemetery is basically this cemetery has a lot of history, and it dates back to the 1800s now. That was a long time ago. That's what we like to call it, the gold rush days, because that's when they were having the gold rush of 1849, and the cemetery was established a year later in 1850. So a lot of these famous prospectors, outlaws, guys like that were buried in this place, and they're still with us today due to our technology, such as the EMF reader and stuff like that, we're able to detect them still today. And it's quite amazing how not a lot of people are talking about this, but the evidence is there. It just blows my mind.
It's
But
insane. I don't know how people haven't figured out about this yet. This one's been kept like under really good wraps.
yeah, it's not that they're hiding it. They don't need to hide it because nobody looks for it. Because basically, people are just glued to their phones all the time, playing, Candy Crush, Angry Birds, Clash of Clans. That they don't want to look up off their phone and look around and question the universe. And the secrets are right there in front of them, but they just don't want to look.
The truth is out there, but people just don't want to believe.
Yeah, they want to take the blue pill. They don't want to. They just want to live in their false reality.
It honestly pisses me off so much that people just are so blind by what's actually happening in their world. They're so ignorant that they let just stuff that is happening in front of them just disappear. They don't question anything. I think that's just the biggest problem in today's society, because all these paranormal investigations we've been doing, we're not super special. We don't have we're like special. We're an elite team of paranormal investigators, but we don't have any resources besides our EMF detector.
Yeah, I know. Really, anybody can do this as long as they're trained. Because I mean, there are three specific rules to paranormal investigation, and as long as you follow these, really anybody can do it. I mean, you don't have to be a professional like us, but uh, I think it would be a good time to go over these rules, don't you think?
Yeah. How about you go over the first two? Actually, you go over all three of them, and then I'll try to add on more.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's more than three essential rules.
Well, we've narrowed it down to the top three rules, and we're going to be posting this on our website soon. But the top three rules to ghost hunting.
SROTU.online.
Yeah.
Check
Number
it out,
one,
guys.
the number one rule is don't go alone. A lot of people they think they are maybe too afraid to ask a friend to go with them because they might be afraid what they think of them. But trust me, if you go alone, you're gonna have a lot more to fear than somebody thinking that you might be a little crazy for ghost hunting. Because we've had a lot of researchers go out alone and not come back, and we'll always remember them. But we have to learn from their mistakes. Please do not go ghost hunting alone. It's the most important rule. And rule number two is you have to have the correct technology and gear with you. Now, there's this new thing that's come out called the Ovilus, and it's been scientifically tested and proven to be able to connect with ghosts. And um, what it does is the ghosts are able to use their supernatural powers to influence it to come up with a word that it displays on the screen and it speaks to you. And they come pretty cheap. They're pretty much anybody who wants to become a ghost hunter can afford them. They're only like $1,000 right now, which is definitely worth it. It's probably one of the best purchases you could make on the market right now.
It's
And
necessary to note that this is like cutting edge technology, that people have to buy it so that it can get better and so it becomes cheaper in the long run. And when it becomes cheaper in the long run, even more people can become ghost hunters. And then the government can't hide anything from us anymore.
yeah, and if the demand for these uh, obelisks goes up, which it will, then the supply will follow too. So there's going to be more obelisks available for anybody to buy them, and I think that's a great thing our society needs right now. And
I concur.
Correct. All right. Number 3 is you have to be able to build up your psychic energies. Now, a lot of people say, okay, I don't have any psychic powers, but really the truth is everybody has a little psychic powers in them. We're all born with it. It's just whether you want to use it or not. And then you can strengthen these psychic powers. That's why there's some people who claim to be psychics and hypnotists and stuff like that. But really, anybody has the ability to do this. Now, what you have to do is the first step is you have to ground yourself. So you want to go out into the forest or into nature or something, and you have to connect to the natural flow of the universe, and you'll just kind of feel like the power of nature build up inside you, and you'll become very psychically active, and that's what will help defend yourself from these dark spirits that sometimes want to harm you. But as long as you have this, they can't get you.
Honestly, I don't think I could have summed it up better myself because I thought there'd be more rules because almost everyone forgets like becoming psychically active is super important to become a ghost hunter. I didn't even know that was part of your 3 rules, but since you covered that one, I don't really think there's anything else. Once you once you follow all 3 of those rules, there's nothing that can really go wrong. I mean, it's still dangerous, but unless you really screw up and deviate from those rules, you shouldn't get hurt too badly, and I don't think you could even die. So as long as I think, I don't know why psychically active is number 3, Carson. Why do you say it would be number 3? Because I think it's the most important one.
Because you can be as psychically strong as anyone. You could be like, I don't know, like Thanos level psychic, but you have to understand that no matter how strong you are, if you're alone, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what you're going to be up against. And we've faced a lot of these spirits, these dark energies, and they're a lot more powerful than people think. And you just kind of, we humans, we tend to underestimate the power of the paranormal and the supernatural. And it's been you just don't want to go alone. That's what you can be you can think you have the most powerful psychic energy, but nothing, you just don't know what's going to happen. That's what I'm trying to
Actually,
that's what I'm trying to say
now that
here.
you mention it, like I completely agree now that not going alone is like the most important rule. I agree with you because I remember from like Arthurian legends, people said that Merlin was a ghost hunter,
Yeah.
and that
A
the
lot
way
of
that
a lot of famous people in our history were ghost hunters. Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Edison, Abraham Lincoln. That's why they had to cover up Abraham Lincoln's death. Because that's why they still haven't released the documents on Abraham Lincoln's death. Why do you think they're hiding from over 100 years? What do you think's that important that they still can't release it? Okay, go on.
so I think Merlin, if I remember correctly, the way the legends say he died is that like this witch that he fell in love with locked him into a cave, but it's more likely than not that that witch is actually was a ghost hunter as well, and she fell under the influence of a ghost, and that ghost told her to lock him into the cave, and he's been stuck there for millennia. And I feel like that would be an interesting investigation once we have sufficient funding. Go to the United Kingdom and try to recover Merlin's body and try to see if he's still alive, because I'm sure he still is. I mean, he was probably a ghost hunter that went alone, and then this other ghost hunter probably distracted him and then got him trapped into a cave. So that might be why he's dead today, or he isn't dead today. That might be why he's missing today.
Yeah. I agree.
But you said Benjamin Franklin was a ghost hunter? I don't think I've ever heard of that one before. I've never even heard of I've heard of Thomas Edison. Like everyone knew that Thomas Edison was a ghost hunter. I've heard speculation regarding Abraham Lincoln's status as a ghost hunter, but Benjamin Franklin, I never knew he was a ghost hunter.
Well, I think we can agree that everybody's a ghost hunter in their own way.
I mean, I completely agree with that, but I just don't see how Benjamin Franklin would have had the time, with all the Declaration of Independence stuff going on. It must have been like really, really hard.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't alive back then, so I can't prove it, but you just have to trust me on this one.
Are the archives incomplete? Like the archives that we have collected over the last 18 years of our lives, I don't know if they have anything about Benjamin Franklin in them or not, because I don't think I've read up on that yet.
Yeah, perhaps the archives are incomplete because the government, back then there was no internet, so the government can control what they want to put online about Benjamin Franklin, because basically just public schooling. We just believe whatever our teachers tell us. I mean, for all we know, Benjamin Franklin is not even a real person. Like, he didn't even exist. But if he did, I can tell you he would be a ghost hunter.
That's true. I understand that now.
Because he was a very educated man, I believe. I believe he went to... What university did he go to? I don't know.
I mean, he might have gone to he might have been like a Harvard man, but we don't know.
I believe he went to MIT. So,
Oh yeah,
obviously,
yeah. That's probably like why electricity happened. MIT science, electricity,
yeah.
Boston, it all
And
lines up.
MIT, they cover a lot of scientific stuff, so yeah, I'm sure they've gone at some point. He learned about the supernatural and paranormal and stuff like that.
So I don't really know what. So what kind of ghosts do you think he would have hunted in the 1700s? Because I know now a lot of our ghosts are from the Civil War and the Gold Rush era in Sacramento. Boston has a really rich history, but by 1700s they might have been like Native American gravestone spells or something like that.
Yeah, back then they still had all the Bigfoots and stuff like that we still have today. I mean, you can just check the carvings that are found from ancient history. The proof is there, so I'm sure he had plenty to go over.
And also, like, since he was in Boston, he was really, really close to the Appalachia. And like some of our friends, like Trapper, Buck, they work exclusively in the Appalachia studying tons of paranormal activity. So it's pretty likely that the same paranormal activity that's being studied today was studied by Benjamin Franklin first.
Yeah. In fact, I've reached out to the Appalachian Investigators of Mysterious Sightings, or AIMS, to see if they wanted to come on the show, but I haven't gotten a response back. So if you know any of those guys, just can you let them know we'd like to ask them some questions about this, because obviously there's a lot of stuff that maybe they know more about Benjamin Franklin than we do.
So what other topics are on the board for right now?
I want to talk more about Manzanita Cemetery, because we kind of got off track with that one.
Sorry. And Wood Creek High School, I heard there was a lot of strange occurrences happening there.
Oh yeah, don't even get me started on Wood Creek. But the Manzanita Cemetery, there was a fire in the 1800s that lit up the entire area of Lincoln, burned it to the ground. But for some reason, there was a circle around the cemetery, and the cemetery did not get burned down. So some sort of mysterious forces going on there that are controlling the fires. And when we went there ourselves, it seemed like there was a lot of stuff there that was trying to cover up. So there's definitely something going on there, because there was a lot getting covered up. Wait a minute, I'm getting a call. Let me answer. I'll put it on speaker. Hello?
Yeah, I'd be trying to shut this down.
Who is this?
Hi, this is Tobias Wilder. I'm calling to confirm your purchase of 1,000 Abraham Lincoln pennies.
Listen, I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're CIA, FBI, any of that, but
Is this Carson French from the Scientific Research of the Unknown?
how do you know my name?
Or it's because you are a very famous YouTuber.
All right, I'm hanging up. I think we're gonna have to end it. This is not good. The government knows what we're doing, and they're gonna
The
try to
CIA
intervene.
is after us now. They figured
Yeah.
out that we've been trying to uncover their secrets.
That they called me 2 times. That's 2 strikes. I don't want to get a third. I don't want to get a third strike because strike 3
Third
you're
strike,
out.
you're out.
Yeah. Okay, but back to Manzanita Cemetery. There was some sort of shoot. A car just wait. Never mind. Thought I saw a car. Never mind. Manzanita Cemetery, we found some, like about half of the cemetery was completely destroyed. There was a big pile of dirt, and in the dirt were tombstones. So somebody was trying to bury old tombstones, and I don't know why they would want to do this. But
Do you think it could have been the name of people like ghosts that are haunting the cemetery, and they've
I
been
don't
trying
know.
to give notices
But
to people that
I
they're
mean,
still alive?
I don't know. There was definitely like some construction going on there. They were trying to cover something up. There were a bunch of tombstones that were basically just piled on top of each other and buried in dirt. And they did a really bad job at covering it up because, I don't know, something weird happened there. Like,
I heard
actually,
rumors that the Lincoln City Council, like, I heard rumors that the city of Lincoln was audited by the state of California, and because of that, and in that sorry, give me a second.
Aditya? Shoot. I hope he's okay. Shoot.
Oh.
Are you okay?
I don't know what's happening.
What happened?
I don't know. I thought I heard my name, and then I blacked out for a second.
Okay, this isn't good.
I think somebody was trying to possess me.
I was afraid it was some sort of a government agents that got into your house or something, trying to stop this from getting on the air, us letting out their secrets. Yeah, that's Manzanita Cemetery. Do you want to talk about the rules of ghosts, of the scientific rules?
Sure.
Do you think that there's any more rules that we're gonna have to add?
For the time being, probably not. But in the future, we definitely will have to add more.
Yeah.
Wait, we already
All
talked
right.
about the rules. Sorry, I got distracted for a second. I can start talking again.
I think I heard a voice on your end. Is there somebody with you?
No, there's no one in my room.
Okay, because I heard something that sounded like a female voice talking. I couldn't tell what it said, but we definitely got some sort of EVP right there, I think.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was some sort of like wiretap by the government. I think they're trying to figure out what we're actually talking about. We have this line securely encrypted, so the government cannot figure out our location. All the government knows is that we live in the greater Sacramento area.
Okay. I give up. I don't know what else to talk about. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to the episode of Scientific Radio of the Unknown. Right now we're ad free, but if there's any companies that want to sponsor us, we'd be happy to have you sponsor our show. And there's a lot more scientific researches of the unknown stuff to come. You can follow my Twitter.
We have a whole
at
set of
Carson.
investigations lined up for the rest of the summer.
Shut
I
up!
highly
while I'm
recommend.
I'm trying to. You can follow my Twitter, Carson French 12, or you can go onto the sro2.online website to learn more about when our stuff comes out. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being on your show.
All right, we're done.